Our treasure hunt for the best Made in America companies has brought us to Garland, Texas, the home of Garrett Metal Detectors. You may not realize it, but you've probably walked through one of their products either at an airport or a football game. Garrett's been part of the business community of Garland for over 50 years now, and we're here to explore that rich history and get a first-hand look at how they make their iconic metal detectors. We're hitting the road in search of America's most interesting companies to answer one question: why are you proud to be made in America? After 55 years of metal detection, there have been plenty of special discoveries made with Garrett products. Some were even made by company founder Charles Garrett himself. Now, the best of the best is on display at the company's on-campus museum. So Garrett Metal Detectors has been around since 1964, so this is a company with just an incredibly rich history. And one of the things I find amazing about this place is you have a museum here in your facility just kind of to the art of metal detecting. So I want to hear more about that.
Yeah, we have a museum here that is about our history as a company, but it also really talks about the history of metal detecting itself. It's full of relics and interesting things that our customers, and in some cases Charles himself, found over the years using our metal detectors.
Wow, that's really, really incredible. So here we have a lot of cases and things like that that have just different artifacts in it that have been found over the years.
Yes, in fact this case is full of Texas history, dating back all the way to the time when Texas was the frontier. So we have handguns, we have musket balls, we have belt buckles.
Wow, that's unbelievable. And then up here we have a lot of coins, a lot of American history it really looks like.
Here in America, this is about as old as it gets. So these are definitely old coins that kind of tell some of the story of the history of our country.
Because people love having these metal detectors, not just for security, but also there's a sporting aspect to the business as well, where people like to take these out and go look in their backyard or hunt around.
It's amazing what you can find in your backyard if you have the right equipment, right?
Right.
A favorite relic in this case is famously called the Hand of Faith gold nugget.
Wow.
It was found by one of our users in Australia, literally in his backyard, and this is a replica. But it was an amazing story that was in the newspapers at the time, and you can still see it today if you go to the Golden Nugget Casino in Las Vegas. The real original Hand of Faith nugget is on display there in the lobby.
That's absolutely unbelievable. I mean, that weighs more than I did when I was a baby. In the early days of Garrett Metal Detectors, Charles Garrett would take his family on road trips across the country, seeing famous battlefields and places near and far, always making sure he had a metal detector in the trunk. He wanted to stay a pivotal part of the metal detecting community. But what started his passion for this art and science? Garrett Metal Detectors, founded by your dad, how did he kind of follow his passions into creating this company?
Passion for treasure hunting began when he saw the movie Treasure Island, and there was a scene in a cave that was full of gold. He was inspired at that point to find treasure. It's amazing to think about the two fields, metal detection and treasure hunting, and how they came together, and how he was able to use the technology that he had in his head, along with the passion for finding treasure, and make an awesome metal detector that would do just that. Back around April 1st, 1964, on my dad's birthday, he had pretty much finished the first prototype. And it was really awesome, and it was making all of the sounds that it normally does, but they were keeping my mom up at midnight. So she stepped out into the garage and said, "Charles, put that detector on the market or forget it." And the light bulb went off. And they formed the Garrett Metal Detector Company at that point.
Oh, I've been with Garrett Metal Detectors for actually over 50 years.
The company's 55 years old, so you've been here almost since the beginning.
That's correct. During my summers in college, I worked at Garrett Metal Detectors. At the time, I didn't know that it was called an internship, but actually it was.
So Bob, when you think about the fact that Garrett Metal Detectors was born out of a garage, it really is amazing to look around this manufacturing facility and you get a sense just of how much the company has grown over the years.
Absolutely. As we've progressed over the years, we've not only added quantity of product that we're building, but the models that we're building. So that requires us to add equipment, add personnel. Another thing that we did was to add lean manufacturing processes.
All right, well, let's take a look at it. What do we have starting off the process here?
Okay, well, this production line we build our tactical handheld, which is a security product.
Okay.
And it starts here with building our probe. We have a ferrite rod, which we wind copper wire on. Now the ferrite rod is what shapes the electromagnetic field. The current through the wire is what creates the electromagnetic field, and then we measure what's going on with the electromagnetic field to get the metal detection that we're looking for.
So this is a really important first step of the process.
Absolutely, and it's got to be done just right. So after the probe is wound, it then goes to the next section where we're finishing up the probe, putting some stabilization tape on it, some shrink tubing and things. And you see right here is what we call our pizza oven, where we have tubing that shrinks under heat, so that's a little heat tunnel that gets everything going.
You're lucky I just had lunch, otherwise I wouldn't be okay with you mentioning pizza like this.
All right, and so at this point the probe is finished, and so the next part is to install the probe onto the circuit board. And after the probe is on the circuit board, we do our test and calibration. For the first step of this process is to load the software code on the microprocessor. Then she puts it on an oscilloscope and she measures the voltages and currents. We have a test fixture here with various targets. So as the test fixture rotates, it creates a signal and she can make the adjustment on the product.
Okay, so each arm here has an object on it that the metal detector detects, and this is just testing to make sure that it's calibrated correctly.
That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now we make it to the end. What's happening here?
After it's assembled and has the battery in it, we clean it up, we wipe it down, we put all the labeling on it, serial number. We do a final test. We 100% test every product that goes out of our facility. It's very important that every product that leaves Garrett meets the Garrett standards.
So that's the process from beginning to end. And you know, I think that there's something really great about knowing that when you buy a Garrett Metal Detector product, that it's always going to pass through the hands of people here in the facility here in Garland, Texas.
Yes, and it's with great pride we can say everything is made in America.
For the community of Garland, Texas, having a business that is committed to keeping its roots firmly planted in the area can mean a great deal in terms of securing the future of the community.
Also, manufacturing locally is a great time to market because, again, we don't have to wait for somebody to teach somebody else how to build something and wait for them to build it, wait for it to be shipped over here, be on their delivery schedule. Again, we can adjust our production line to meet demands, we can keep our inventory balanced.
In the short term, it often looks like outsourcing, especially offshoring manufacturing, can be a helpful strategy. There are hidden costs, and I think the values here at Garrett were to keep manufacturing in the U.S., to keep control of our quality, and to be able to grow the business the right way.
Back in the early 60s when my parents moved to Garland, they grounded Garrett Metal Detectors here. And we've stayed here. And we love to have our products to be made in the United States. There's a sense of national pride for our products to be made here. And they're the best products. And we have the best employees. And we'll continue to do it here. There's no reason to move.
I think it's clear that Garland struck gold by having Garrett Metal Detectors as part of its business community. And you can rest assured the next time you visit an airport or go to a big event, we have 50 years of history keeping you safe.